Good evening. Welcome back. I'm Crispy. I've got some unsolicited advice here for Mark, a co-creator of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, game that I've watched now a few times. Can't say that I've played it, so I'm not an expert on it. I focus more on in-character play, Mark. I want to see players stay in character, get into that mindset of their character and stay there, whether it's combat or something else, exploration, all of it. I want it to be in character. I think it solves a lot of problems. I see you've one of your videos was suggested to me as an example of Pathfinder 2nd Edition play, and I think in this video, and I haven't watched the whole thing, and we're going to try a bit of an experiment here tonight. I don't have a lot of time. We're just going to take maybe 20, 30 minutes, take a little look at this game and see how it goes. You appear to be giving a tutorial of your game that you've co-created. So I just want to take a look at this. I may have a few thoughts to share, Mark, but let's take a look at this, and of course I'll introduce the participants. But and again, I've only watched maybe 5-10 minutes of this, but it looks to me like this is a very heavily edited version of the game. There's some cuts here and there. I think it's just taking out dead space. I would have much preferred to see the raw deal. Like what was it like? Especially since these players are all YouTubers. They're all D&D tubers, and I recognize a couple of them. I watched one of Stephanie Plays Games, one of her videos recently, and yeah. So anyway, let's take a look at Mark running a game that he's co-created, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Here it is. And here are the players. Mark is center top. Anto is there on the left. Matt on the upper right. Riker in the bottom left. Sean in the middle. And then here, I'm going to try not to cover you up there, Stephanie. You look much better than I do. Let's see how this goes. Now, we're quite a ways in, as you can see on that red bar on the bottom. And I just picked a random spot, and I thought, let's just start watching. I haven't seen it before, so we'll see what happens here. I'll, of course, be looking for ways to encourage in-character play.
There you all talk about blood mouse.
To my little blood mouse. My blood mouse will be hit with a 16. That hits. So give me your damage.
It is only 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. You smack the mouse, but it just kind of like moves those like Demogorgon like mouth flaps angrily, and it seems like that, there's a little bruise, but it didn't really hurt it that much.
All right.
Justice incoming.
All right. So the mouse is not in initiative this round, though, because of the fact that I said those two were distracted by the distraction on their turn. So next up is the injured goon that got stabbed by the rapier. So that goon is going to also try to attack with a dagger. Draws a dagger and makes an attack against Sudden Kelp. Maybe I'll get another natural 20.
I bet.
It is not another natural 20. Fortunately, unfortunately, you decide. It is going to be a 14.
14 misses.
So then I will, let's see. I think I will attack one more time.
I was going to say fudging's a thing. You can make it a 20.
No fudging. Don't say that, Riker.
All right, this is a natural 1, so it critically fails.
Not a chance.
So that is it for the second pirate goon and Leru.
Okay, so pirate goon. So what I'm looking for here, Mark, is I want to hear on their turns where they are. So it's a great rubric for roleplay. I highly recommend this. On their turn, where are you? What do you do? That's what I'm listening for. I want to hear, where are you? What are you doing? Okay.
It is now your turn.
So if I were to scramble onto the railing, could I use my ability to jump?
If could, Stephanie, you don't need to ask. You just do it. Just do it, Stephanie.
5 feet straight up, would that be enough to make it onto the second floor, or like be able to like hoist myself over the
Okay, you have an opportunity here, Mark. She's asking you a hypothetical. Don't answer it.
railing or something?
So, in fact, if you had a perch such as like Zarpraz is still standing with like hands up as a perch that you could use that was solid enough of a leaping point, then your powerful leap ability from being a rabbit would be enough that you could then.
Wait, she's playing a rabbit? Man, I shouldn't have skipped ahead. She's playing a rabbit. Is that kind of common in Pathfinder 2nd Edition? They have a lot of rabbits that you play? How do you roleplay a rabbit? And make it, safe for work? How would you do that?
Grab your way up.
Okay, could I do that? Is there?
Yes.
Could? What? Could? Why? Why? Don't do that, please.
Okay.
You can. Now, normally when you're doing like a leap in the middle of movement or something like that, there's a rule in the Pathfinder core rulebook that suggests to GMs to sort of not sort of nickel and dime the way that the movement is split into 3 different types of movement, but instead combine it into a smaller number of actions. So I'm going to do that. Since it uses far less than your normal number of movement, even though it's 3 discrete parts, we'll say it uses just 2 moves.
Mark, I think your game will be improved. I know you're teaching it, so we got to give you a bit of a leeway here because you're teaching the mechanics to people that maybe haven't played before. But shorter turns, huge difference.
Moves for that.
Okay, 2 moves.
2 actions in total to like move up, do the leap, and get up to the top.
Okay, and then once I am up there, can I...
Stephanie, you're killing me. Why are you asking? You haven't done it.
do my Addling Blast on whatever guard is closest to help out my friends being attacked?
Now, unfortunately, no, because you only have 1 action left.
Yeah.
2 actions.
And it's a 2-action ability. But if Zarpraz and you are both willing to have you just end your turn, like sort of standing on Zarpraz, you could do the cone from there and hit the.
I didn't realize that I could. I didn't realize that I could stay there as a launching off point. So I'm happy.
Oh wait!
Stay
Sorry,
out.
I forgot that you went inside the building, didn't you? I just totally blanked on that. You went.
Okay, Mark. The reason why you may have blanked on that, and again, I haven't watched. I like to go through 1 turn for everyone, see how long that takes. We're going to try that, unless I run out of time. But if your turns are too long and there's too many back and forth, well, if I do this, could I do that? If I do that, then it's easy, Mark. It's easy for all of us to lose track of who's doing what and where. Where are they? What are they doing? Because there's so many hypotheticals. Well, what did you actually do? Oh, I'll do that. Well, do what? Which one was it?
You're not still outside. You went off.
Yeah, Zarprax went inside, but
I forgot about that. Never mind.
Purely because I thought that I couldn't be a boosties for anyone else. But if I can give uppies, I will stay out. I will have stayed out to give uppies.
I'll allow that retcon because it's fun, and also I forgot.
Mark, my suggestion is that your goal isn't fun. Fun is going to happen. It's going to happen, right? These are all fun people. They're here of their own free will and choice. There's no one holding a gun to their head and saying, "Look, they're all smiling. They're having a good time." The goal isn't that. The goal is the faithful representation of this world, as wild and wacky as it probably is with the anthropomorphic bunny character. Is Pathfinder 2 really like that? Is it like those of you that have? Please let me know in the comments. Like, is this a game really designed for people to play their favorite animal in human form? At any rate, that's not my point. My point is simply this: your goal shouldn't be retconning for fun. Your goal is to make the fictional world feel real, even if it's wacky and goofy, gonzo type world. The goal is to have it feel well, there's fancy words for it, right? The verisimilitude. It's so that we can all suspend disbelief that this actually does exist, so that we can get into the character's headspace, that we can see the world through the character's headspace, that we can stay in character, not to retcon for fun. I actually think that reduces some of the fun. Well, for me, it does. Like, what? If you're just going to retcon things, do I not get a turn? Like, do my turns not matter? Or if you just decide that it's going to be something that's more fun, then you can change my turn?
And thought you were outside and told people that they could do that when I was wrong. So, and we'll say that, you didn't spend the action. You would have had one action left if you had some kind of one action Majugger that you wanted to do. So, yeah, from that point, because they moved to the side of the railing in order to flank against Sudden Kelp, that also means that they and Sudden Kelp are in a 15-foot arrangement. Now, you can avoid hitting your allies, so that will just hit both of them with the Adeling Blast. So I will attempt my will save against this. Now, unfortunately... Oh, never mind. I rolled the second one. And now I can just say fortunately and unfortunately. So, unfortunately, one of them...
Just say what happens, Mark. You don't have to do the unfortunately, fortunately. Oh, no. Oh, just say what it is.
Got just an absurd will save and critically succeeded. But the other one got an absurdly bad will save and critically failed. So it is as different as possible. The critical success one is totally unaffected by your Adeling Blast. But roll your 2d4 plus 1 damage for the Adeling Blast, and then double it against the one that critically failed.
Okay, that'll be a total of 14 when doubled.
14 is exactly how much as this one has. So I'm just going to also point out that it was stupefied 2, weakening its spells and special song abilities that Algamayan pirates have, and off guard from this, but is also unconscious. All right, so that was the uninjured one. That has been knocked unconscious, and the injured one is badly injured from the rapier already. So it's now Manny's turn.
Oh, that's me. I'm like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that guy? Okay, so one is unconscious from the bunny, and is on the ground. The other one's in still in melee with our Kelpie friend. And then he goes, "I said, help, or I will fuck you!" And I'm gonna run up with my shield and try to shove him off the roof.
Okay, yeah. You can do it. He will land on the veranda below.
Yeah, will he take damage of that? Like he'll fall and take damage?
He will.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll take
that.
probably 5 damage for falling 10 feet.
That's a natural 20 for 27.
That knocked him actually 10 feet. Unfortunately for you, he was not in that one specific spot where he would have fallen 2 stories, because that was the one that was knocked unconscious by the Adeling Blast. So he falls down almost exactly, weirdly into a flanking position with the mouse against Ahoy, except the 5 falling damage knocks him out.
Hey! All right.
So, you knock him out, and he would have been able to grab the edge, actually. It acted so...
Would have been able to grab it if the... This is slowing down your turns too much, I think, Mark. The Game Master doesn't need to say the hypotheticals of what could have happened or would have happened if he had done this. You could, if you want, my suggestion would be save that till afterwards when you're talking about what happened in the game. Oh, remember that part where you rushed him off the roof? Well, I happened to roll this, and you didn't know that because you weren't seeing my dice rolls. But if I hadn't rolled that, it would have something else could have happened there. But wasn't it interesting that this happened? But to do it in the middle of the game just bogs things down, Mark.
Far, but since you critically succeeded, he was pushed 10 feet, which caused him to not be able to grab the edge because otherwise he would have been Wile E. Coyoteing in the air or something like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. So you move to a...
Okay, I like Riker's turn there. I do. I like it. What did he do? He said where he was. He says what he's attempting, or what his action was. He even had some dialogue, in-character dialogue. It's good. That's a solid turn. Look how much faster it is, too.
Spot where you would be directly behind him to push him off. You shoved him off. You've got...
Why are we still talking about this? Why is this turn not over? Why isn't it to the next person?
One action left, and there are no.
No. If a player doesn't use all their actions, is that a problem? Is that like a really big problem, Mark? Can we just say he did what he said he did, and yeah, there was an action left on the table, but is it absolutely game breaking if he leaves that action on the table?
Conscious enemies that are up here in the area, you cleared the one with 2 people. The rest of the team spent a lot of actions getting up to where you were, or dealing with one of the people who was down there. But the mouse is actually the style that's active in the area right now.
Okay.
And it's down below where you can't reach it.
Yeah, so I don't think I've seen the combat underneath, so I'm just going to run through the door that's available and try to make my way down from the top.
All right, so you're going to move up to the door, and then next turn you'd be able to open it.
Fair enough. A bit of a time violation by Riker. You don't have enough time to do all of that. Okay, fine. I still think that Riker's got good instincts here. Like, it's good turn. Why was it so long? I think it was. As a fellow game master, Mark, I can relate. We get excited about this. We start to be too involved in everyone's turn. We don't need to be.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So I will now roll the mouse into initiative because it is now the turn that I said that the mouse was going to get to join.
You don't have to give justifications all the time. Maybe you don't know these people, they don't know you, and you're still building that trust relationship so that they know you're not just messing with them all the time. That's fair enough, but you just say what the mouse does. Like, what do they see? Not the mechanics, just what do they see?
At 20.
Amazing. Yeah. Here it comes. This mouse.
Mouse.
This mouse is about to ace
actually,
us.
Mouse is good at initiative. If it rolls high,
What? Why are we talking? Whose turn is it next? We had Stephanie go, then we had Riker. Who? It's now a mouse. Okay, is this an NPC? Let's see if this is an
it will
NPC.
go before.
Watch this mouse just...
Yeah,
Wreck us.
Oh,
The
right.
mouse is the problem.
the mouse actually
is the pirate
totally,
boss.
totally didn't go first, and the mouse like it squeaks and chitters mournfully at the remains of its good friend over there who you kind of splattered with your gun. And thankfully for the mouse, I guess, the malefactor who shot the mouse's friend has moved right up to it. So the mouse is not going to have to use a leaping strike on you. But
Mark, you're still telling them what it's not going to do. Why waste the mental energy on that? Just say what it does.
instead going to attack
Yeah, I prefer
you.
it not to.
It's going to attack you with its proboscis.
The image
So
of a mouse having a
that is a
proboscis.
20.
Oh, you just got
Okay.
probed by a mouse. How's it feel?
All right, so the mouse is going to hit you with its proboscis for 5 piercing damage,
Oh,
and it attaches onto you.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I love
It's similar to grabbing you, except for that is now it moves with you. You are not stuck where you are. It's a tiny mouse. It's off guard while doing so,
Yes.
and it's going to use blood drain to try to drain blood from you. So here's what.
Okay, Mark, here's a suggestion. Instead of saying it's going to do this, to do that, to do the blood drain thing, just describe what Riker's character feels, if you need to, or just describe what happens. Do you understand the difference here? What I'm getting at? Here's what I mean. This mouse with a mosquito-like proboscis is latched on to the Riker's character. I can't remember the name. Its body plumps with blood drawn from a puncture wound. And then let Riker roleplay that, like as it comes around to his turn again. That's a great opportunity, Mark. But instead of saying he's going to do that, just say what happens. Just say it in the moment. Oh, the present. That's what we want. Not I'm going to do, I'm going. Just the present.
Is going to happen here. You will take an additional 3 piercing damage from the blood drain. The mouse will gain temporary hit points. And you are also drained.
Is there a way in the fiction of Pathfinder 2, is there a way to describe that without saying temporary hit points? Could you just say that its body inflates, its stomach becomes distended, the red blood or blood sac grows? Could you just say that instead of saying temporary hit points? I find it hard to picture temporary hit points. That's a meta thing. And if it is something that's invisible to the players, why even mention it? Don't even mention it. How would they know it's temporary hit points? Man, this thing's hard. Yeah, well, it's got half of your your circulatory system in its belly.
1 until you receive any amount of healing. This causes you to lose 1 from your current and maximum hit points temporarily and to take a penalty on fortitude. But once you're healed, that'll go away.
So I take another 1?
Yeah, you take another 1, which also reduces your maximum.
Oh.
And
This mouse
that,
beast.
Wow.
that is the end of the mouse's turn because it had to, even though you were next to it, it's so tiny that it had to
You don't need to give any justifications. It's the end of the turn. Next.
like actually move into your space and attack you. So that is the end of the mouse's turn, and it means that it is time for Zarprax, who I accidentally teleported back outside by forgetting that he went inside.
It's okay.
Yeah, Mark, don't beat yourself up. We all do that. It happens. Just move on. It's also something that, good players will just roll with. They'll just roll with it. Oh, he messed that up. Oh, well, I'm just going to go with it. And then afterwards you talk about, hey, you know what? You did forget where I was there for a moment. You know what? Yeah, I did. It's all good. It's all good. We all make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, because I was outside, wasn't I? Because I was doing the eppies. I will move towards the mouse, and then I will dig into my bag of tricks.
So Anto. I step towards the mouse. I reach into my bag. It's so much. I know it's a small. The few people that'll watch this will say, "Oh, Crispy, come on, semantics." But just when I describe it that way, and I'm not flowery. I'm sure Anto has a more clever turn of phrase than I do. But by putting it in the future, even if it's near future, it's not as intense. The present is intense. It's my view, which is, of course, right.
And pull out a mousetrap that's still got the bones of a long forgotten mouse on it, and I will use that.
That's awesome. If you just created that, that's fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. Co-creation. Giving the players that kind of ability to, I reach into my magical bag, I pull out a mousetrap. It still has a dead mouse on it. That's awesome. I love it. Especially if that was something you could just come up with.
To demoralize the mouse with my second action.
Amazing.
For a total of 22.
All right, that definitely demoralized the mouse. It was already like
solid turn, Anto. Solid turn. Like it. You and Riker. Good. I got high hopes for these other two, Matt and Sean. All right. Mark, that's a solid turn. It's a good length. Let's not slow it down.
like demoralized by its ally, its friend being so brutally murdered. In fact, that almost critically demoralizes
Why are we talking about almost? Just describe what happens to the mouse.
the mouse, but doesn't.
And then
I'm glad Stephanie's having a great time. I'm getting a kick out of her reactions.
stab
on
it with my
camera.
longsword.
All right.
Or hear me out. We try to befriend
Okay, Stephanie, you had your turn. Let's.
this now.
I would have tried to befriend it up until the proboscis came out.
I'm still waiting for
If
when
it's
that
got
frog's
probes,
coming out.
It has to die.
That strengthened my desire for friendship.
That is a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that will definitely hit its off guard AC. 16 hit it even before that. So roll your damage.
And then that will be a total of 9 damage.
That easily not only gets through its temporary hit points, but also cuts into its real health. As you slash into this tiny mouse, some of its blood is spilling out.
Just say that, Mark. Just say that. Do you have to go through it went through its temporary hit points? Is that strictly speaking, is that really necessary? We all kind of understand what's going on here?
It's pretty badly hurt at this point. It would be squeaking in agony, but it can't really...
Why are we saying what it would have done? Why are we talking about that? Just say what happened.
make a squeak while it's like latched on to Ahoy, so it's just kind of thrashing about.
Be gone now, little blood mouse.
All right, next up is going to be sudden kelp.
You said that the
Okay, Matt, we don't start our turns with out of character questions.
the drop from balcony to veranda is about 10 feet.
If you could see the drop, then in character you say, I look over the edge to gauge the distance. That's quick. It can still be a free action or whatever your rule system allows. And then you can just say 10 feet down. It can be that quick. It really can.
It is about 10 feet.
I have...
That wasn't too bad. Let's go back. I don't want to straw man you here, Mark. Let's see how that works.
Kelp.
You said that the drop from balcony to veranda is about 10 feet.
It is about 10 feet.
I have the catfall feat, so I think I could just fall and not take any damage.
You could just walk over
He had the feed. He read it. Why don't you just do it?
there and fall along as part of your move. That you can
Amazing.
absolutely do that.
I am going to conjure up some first season Demon Slayer and do.
Or is that a video game? That must be is that a video game or an anime reference?
Fifth form Blessed Rain after the drought and just jump off and try and strike this thing dead off of our friend Ahoy.
Amazing.
Sounds good.
Described it all cool. Time to roll bad. Wow. Oh, I rolled good. 21.
21, that hits.
It's a surprise for me.
You're pretty much definitely going to defeat it.
That is going to be 12 points of damage.
That's enough. So yeah, you leap from above. The extra momentum allows you to just stab the rapier in there, and the mouse twitches a little bit, like lets out a little whimpering squeak, and then falls off of Ahoy.
I throw it off the roof.
All right.
I die inside.
No.
Thank you.
It is okay, Lilith. And pull out the desiccated mouse off the mouse trap. I can give you mouse if you want mouse.
So the next thing that happens after that, in initiative, it would be, we would say it was Ahoy, except, in fact, that door that Manny is standing right next to into A11 opens.
A11. Are you referencing the map rooms?
Also, Sudden Kelp is no longer up here. Only Manny is here.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh
Door to
no!
A11 opens. And you see a fellow who is indeed holding this kind of weapon that was described to you before. That this is definitely Melar Khan.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
I will show you the picture of Melar Khan in chat so that you can.
So is this all Pathfinder settings? Are they all like this, where it's anthropomorphic animals? Is that kind of like Mouse Ritter? Is that what this is? This is a lot different than the Pathfinder I remember.
See what Melar Khan's
my
weapon
gosh.
looks like. So,
Oh my god.
It must be his own setting, I think, right?
That
Look at that whip.
oh my gosh.
I do think Stephanie's enjoyment is infectious.
Kind of
Like pose money.
so
There was a
Melar
moment.
Khan, yeah, he opens the door from the commotion. He sees that you guys like your fight is over. Come now, he growls in his rasping drawl. Let's sort this out like sensible people, alright? I'm the sporting type. I think I know why you're here. Why don't we follow the pirate's code and have a duel? You and me, he points to Manny.
I do a little, like a 360, and a ponytail falls out, and my hair falls down on my
Okay, this guy's good.
shoulders, and I'm like, I have come for you. You shall die.
You're good.
For the queen. And I take 2 steps back and pull out my
In the present tense. Do you hear how he's doing this? Oh, Riker, you're giving me hope for the hobby.
shield.
So it's not quite your turn yet.
Oh, what are you talking about? Why wouldn't you let him do that? Not because... Is it really breaking the initiative to have him do that? That's...
In initiative.
I prepared to do
that can
just
be-
that.
Riker, you're a good player, man. I'm impressed. I am impressed. And I have unreasonable standards. I'm totally unreasonable. Awesome. I get this guy in a
that
game.
can be exactly what you're gonna do. I think you even have your shield off from when you like smacked the guy
Mark, why are you slowing everything down?
down off of the roof. Perfect. He wishes to duel one of the party members, and he says, "It sounds like you're preparing to duel him." He says, "Good. I know you're here for the map. I don't have it, but I will tell you where it is if you beat me in the duel. Normally, I'd say let's go up to the crow's nest, but we're kind of already an entire story above everybody else for here, so we'll just do it here. That's fine. Fight until the other one surrenders, or until knocking each other out. And if you beat me, I'll tell you what happened to my part of the map. If I win, then you work for me."
Are you reading this, Mark? Don't read it. You kind of get the gist. Just do it off the cuff. So much better. Feels authentic.
To find the map. Either way, we'll find the map together.
I look back at the others and go, "Is this all right with you?"
Riker, MVP, man. Love it.
This movie has more mice.
Good job, Stephanie.
If he plays dirty and breaks the rules of a gentleman, then the duel is broken and all of you may attack.
Ahoy's already reloaded and kind of aiming up, and he just gives a nod.
Good job, Sean. I feel bad for you, Sean. I've been watching this now for how long? I don't know. It feels like a long time. But you finally got a turn, and I liked your turn.
You can
All
see
right.
Sudden Kelp just like slowly inching their way towards the door to like just sneak in up.
Say it in first person, Matt, and then I'll be just as excited for your turn as I was for Riker and Sean and Stephanie. Just
The back way.
So if it looks like you're going to accept his duel,
Mark, he did. Just go with it.
he will actually give you a moment to recalibrate yourself and let you roll initiative for the duel to be separate.
More meta talk.
So that he doesn't just automatically get
Is meta talk expected in Pathfinder 2? Is that why I hear so much of it?
to go before you in the duel.
Okay.
So roll a new initiative for the duel, and I will roll for him on that new initiative. Ooh, he did worse this time.
Okay.
He should have just kept it.
Should I roll my initiative with diplomacy?
I think you can
that be
if
fitting?
you want to, because you were negotiating a duel.
Yeah.
That would work. You could also use perception just because.
I just trust players. Just don't cheat. Understand the rules. Just roll. Tell me what you got.
Because that's used for sense motive to try to figure out if he was telling the truth. Whichever is better for you, I would say roll that.
That'd be a 23.
Holy, yeah, you do go first. So all those things you said about what you were doing with the shield.
I can't wait. I'm excited for Riker's turn. And guess what? It'll be in present tense. Don't make me a liar, Riker. I'm sticking my neck out for you. I bet it's in present tense.
Right away. Well, once it was determined that you guys had agreed upon the duel, you do that. So go ahead, take your actions. You start with there's 10-foot gap in between each of you, even though you guys were right next to each other on the door. He kind of like moved out so that you're like each not on the edge of the balcony, but sort of halfway across between the distance between the center of the balcony and the edge. So like across from each other, there's a 10-foot gap in between you.
Okay.
And you've got your shield out.
So I would need to move to get up to him, essentially, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So instead, I am going to...
dang it. You made me a liar. Riker?
To reach out with my hand, and underneath, almost like Spider-Man-esque, like some tendrils of see an enemy will kind of poke out, and a long needle will shoot out for my charged javelin attack.
All right. Yeah, roll your charged javelin.
Dang it. I had such high hopes. Well, this was an interesting experiment. This was a co-creator of Pathfinder 2e running the game for D&D YouTubers, so maybe people that aren't familiar with it, teaching them his game. Mark, I hope I gave you something there that's useful. I feel like I repeat myself a lot, but hopefully there was something here that was useful. And Riker, boy, you had some great turns. You really did. I was pleasantly surprised. And I'm not often pleasantly surprised. So it's nice to be pleasantly surprised from time to time. Wish I could have seen a few more turns, but again, it's late and this is supposed to be a shorter unsolicited advice. I'm not sure what to think of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I think is there potential for it? Can you stay in character and play Pathfinder 2nd Edition? Is this not designed to stay in character? You really need to be at that meta level to play this game? I don't know. I'm leaning more towards that's the case here, that it's the type of game where it's being in character, role-playing all the time is difficult because the system is working against that style of play. I don't know. I don't own it. Again, I think I looked at the play test way back in the day, and I'm like, I think I've seen this game before, because I have played 4th edition, and it felt a lot like 4th edition to me. It's probably improved from 4th edition, although there's still people that like 4th edition. One of my players, he loved it, still loves it. So different strokes for different folks, I suppose. I appreciate you if you made it this far. Thanks for watching, and again, thanks for the suggestion as I look at these games. I'm not sure. It's a little more challenging to do this without having watched the game ahead of time. So I think I don't know. Maybe this would be better for a live format. At any rate, this has been another unsolicited RPG advice. This time for Mark of YouTube channel Arcane Mark. And I hope this was of some assistance to you. You're not going to see it, and that's fine too. I will catch you all on the next one. And until then, take care. Talk to you later.